Today's lab, we're going to talk a little bit about a new cleaning product. We talked about lots of different products on the market. Of course, there's a lot of boutique stuff, but the new thing that this SDI, the School of Firearms Technology, has brought to my attention is the modern Spartan Systems Carbon Destroyer and their Accuracy Oil. And the Accuracy Oil, I've seen a couple videos on this. Is really good stuff. You'll see on the internet where they take a couple of bearings and at high temperature. Or I'm not so much high temperature, but at high speed, and this guy still keeps on going. It's like slick 50 for your automobile. Pretty neat stuff. I'm going to use for the lab. I'm going to use a Sarsilmaz B6P barrel, 9mm, and I'm going to use one of the new Taurus PT111 Gen 2 barrels, 9mm as well. Using Hops synthetic, Hops number 9 synthetic blend for my the solvent, and of course Hops Elite gun oil for my preservation and oiling for the Taurus. And for the Sarsilmaz, I'll use the Modern Spartan Systems Carbon Destroyer for the solvent, and of course the Accuracy Oil for preservation. We'll get on to it, and then I'll come right back to you after I've done a few runs through it, and I'll let it sit for a little while. Okay. One little trick I like to use is if I can find these, and you can medical, dental supplies. They're just really long. They're long Q-tips, if you will, and they have a wooden, so they don't really do any harm to the barrel, of course, the rifling. Just a long wooden handled Q-tip, but I like to take a little bit of cotton balls and take some of the material off and make my own little swab, or actually bore mop. And what I'll do on the SAR, or on the Taurus, I'm just going to take my little bore mop and just run it through that. I like to get the solvent through it really good, and then that way it's sitting there. And I'll do the same on the Sarsilmaz with the using the modern Spartan systems. But yeah, just take a little bit of cotton ball here and then just push it through. That way you get a nice little bore mop going, and you get your solvent nice and coated on there really good. All right. Okay, so I've run the the Hops synthetic blend through the Taurus, and of course the modern Spartan systems Carbon Destroyer through the Sarsilmaz, and let that set for a little while. We're also going to use the SDI provides a nice Otis Elite cleaning kit. We're going to use that, and it's the coated cable version, something like a bore snake. Only it's their version, and we're going to go ahead and run this through, and we're going to pull some of the. We're going to run it, of course, breech in through muzzle, and then back to muzzle, and we're going to go and run this through there a couple times, just to help break up any more, and then we'll run the Carbon Destroyer back through it, and then we'll run a nice patch through it. Okay. I ran the Elite Otis Elite bore snake, if you will, or cable system through. Ran about 4 or 5 times through, help break up some of the solvent, let the solvent do its job in both cases. And this is what I've gotten from my little cotton swab from both products. This is a Carbon Buster, of course, with the Carbon Destroyer, and this is the one from the Hops number 9. Of course, both these, I forgot to mention, that were both ran 100 rounds each, just a few days ago, with Federal full metal jacket, and so a lot of copper should be in there and stuff. But I've done from the two, it looks like the Hops number 9's doing the best as far as pulling out any of the material or any of the carbon. So we're waiting to do a couple soft patches. We'll run some dry patches through there now. I'll run the solvent through there one more time, let it sit for another minute or two, and then I'll run a couple dry patches through, and then we'll put our oil in there and see what the results are. Again, both were ran 100 rounds each with Federal full metal jacket. Okay. I suspected there was a actual handle for this cable, and I just realized that there's a screw-on piece here in the Elite kit that allows you to put on here, and there's a little bar you run through, which gives you a little bit more pull. So when you want to run it through there. I've got some of the patches, and for each one I've let them set for a little while. I'm going to put a little bit more Carbon Destroyer on the one for the Sarsilmaz, and then I'm going to go ahead and run 3 patches through. So here we go to see what I get with these patches. See what else we come up with here. But I'll do this, and then I'll show the results here in the end. Then we'll go ahead and get some of the oil preservation on the barrels, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so we're finished with the barrels, I should say. Hops number 9 seemed like it just did a better job. I mean, looking at the initial swab of the solvent, the first couple passes with the solvent on the patch, the dry patch, and of course the oil even pulled out some of the elite oil, pulled out some of the carbon, and it came out pretty clean. Whereas the modern Spartan systems, the swab did a pretty good job. The initial solvent, as far as arresting any or destroying any carbon, pulling it out, and you can see that on the little Q-tip here as well. First few pass pulls through. Of course, for whatever reason, this barrel seems tighter than this one. It just seems odd, but when it came through, it didn't really have a lot of carbon on it, so it must have just been mostly here. Then a dry patch, and of course, even with the modern Spartan systems accuracy oil, no additional carbon came through. So not saying that this was any better or what. Maybe this just wasn't as dirty. Again, I tried to dirty them up with about 100 rounds of ammo, and all in all, the oil, I know for a fact, the accuracy oil, from looking at the video, of course, proof is in the pudding, but from what I see in the video, the accuracy oil is really nice to have on anything that gets hot and has a lot of wear and friction, with, like, let's say, the rifling of your pistol barrel. So the lands and the grooves are going to do a better job maybe with this as well. But yeah, all in all, a good little comparison of these two. Probably off the shelf, you can probably find this just about everywhere. This you may have to contact Modern Spartan Systems, but in any case, they both do a pretty decent job, and you just have to get the rest of the work done. But yeah, just wanted to bring that to you and see what the new comparison was. Okay, in the interest of saving time for the video and to try to get this out real quick, I'm going to do an 8-segmented lubrication test with this brawl bar stock, steel bar stock. I'm going to put it out in the elements right now. We're having inclement weather, a little rain and stuff, and 50 degrees during the day, a little lower at night here in Northeast North Carolina. So I'm going to do this test. It's going to be basically Spartan accuracy oil, Hops Elite gun oil, Aeroshell 33 MS, Birchwood Casey synthetic, Ballistol, CLP, WD-40, and Christo's Pure Veg. So what I've got here is I've got the bar stock segmented. So you've got Spartan, the Hops, the Aeroshell, the Birchwood Casey, Ballistol, and CLP, and WD-40, and last but not least Crisco vegetable oil. So you've got Modern Spartan Systems, Spartan Accuracy Oil. I'm hoping really good results with this. Hops Elite Gun Oil, Aeroshell 33 MS, great gun grease if you're doing any kind of AR-15 work. Birchwood Casey Synthetic Gun Oil, Ballistol Multi-Purpose. Everybody loves the aroma of Ballistol, especially if you do it in the house around your wife. Really good stuff. CLP, highly used by the military, and very good stuff right there. All-purpose cleaner and lubricant. WD-40, everybody knows about WD-40, but it's not really so much of a lubricant. It's just, I'd like to try it, see how it looks. And Crisco vegetable oil. I have some boutique stuff like frog lube, but I'm not going to do frog lube right now. I'm just going to compare it against Crisco. And I don't have any other stuff, but just for now. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. Each lubricant has its own brush, so there won't be any cross-contamination. And I'm going to heat it up to 100 degrees temperature with this heat gun. I'm going to get the steel nice and warm with the heat gun, get it to 100 degrees, and then apply the lubricant. And then I'm going to put it outside. Hopefully the backside will rust up really nice, and we'll see how it reacts to no protection at all. And I'll get back to you. All right, more to follow. For now, I'm signing off. Okay, as a follow-up to the video, I put this bar stock out on the 1st of December, about 5 days ago, and this is the result. I left it out on a metal steel patio table, of course, and you can see the maybe a little bit of the resemblance. It was raining a couple days. Some days were nice and sunny and shiny. This was all cleaned up before, but here's what we got. Okay, so then you got your Modern Spartan Systems Accuracy Oil, which did a very good job. You can see where I segmented it right there and left it raw. Very good job on Spartan. Okay, then you had the Hops this is a Hops Elite Oil, not so good. You can see again where it's segmented. Aeroshell, I only put it right there in the center, but the Aeroshell 33 MS, very good. That's more of a grease though, as far as preservation. And then you can see again where it's segmented. Then you have the Birchwood Casey, the synthetic oil, gun oil, not so good. Then you've got the Ballistol. Wow, I like Ballistol. Matter of fact, I use Ballistol on my drill press and stuff. It does a very good job keeping that post nice and clean. A lot of guys have problems with that thing rusting. Just throw some Ballistol on a rag, wipe it on there, you're good to go. So there's Ballistol. Then you have the CLP, which our military uses pretty exclusively. It does a very good job. WD-40, wow. I mean, inside of the W there, it's pretty corroded, but not too bad. And then, of course, Cristo Pure Vegetable Oil. You can see a little bit of surface rust on there pretty much throughout. Didn't do such a good job. I mean, better than I would say the hops, but or the Birchwood Casey for sure. Definitely better than that. But again, you know, there was a lot of controversy about the Crisco vegetable oil, so I figured I'd try it. But you can see there's a little bit of surface rust here. Not much though, but did a pretty good job for sitting out in the weather for 5 days. So as you know, okay, so, at the very least, as far as firearms go, and a lot of other things for that matter, you know, cleaning your firearms and preserving them are really key to keeping a good, long-lasting firearm. It's not so much just to clean them, but you gotta really preserve them too. So get the metal parts really coated. Find some good stuff. Obviously, Spartan does a good job. And let's see, Ballistol, awesome, and CLP. Definitely those three. You can use other things like the Frog Lube, things like that. There's a ton of products on the market, but not knocking the new modern Spartan systems, Carbon Store, the modern Spartan systems Spartan accuracy oil. Watch a couple videos on this, you'll be impressed. It does a really good job. Great little product, and I think I'm going to start using that pretty good as a preservation lubrication. All right, with that, I'll go ahead and pan out, and we'll call the video.